A few days have passed since Haruto and James first spoke in the library. True to his word, Haruto met James every day in the library after school. They would study together, work as group mates on some assignments, and throughout it all, they started getting closer, getting to know each other more. On this day, however, James finds himself alone in the library after class. "Excuse me, have any of you seen Haruto enter the library?" James asks a group of students seated near the entrance. When they shake their head, James thanks them and moves on. "Excuse me, ma'am, is there any chance you happen to see Haruto here at the library this afternoon?" James asks one of the librarians. Mrs. Corona, a woman in her late 40s, looks up from her computer. She gives James a friendly smile. "Sorry, dear, I'm afraid I haven't, though I understand why you're looking for him. I've noticed the two of you study here after class for a few days now. I've found it quite strange, to be honest," she responds. "Strange, ma'am? How so?" James asks, a hint of confusion in his voice. Mrs. Corona studies James for a moment, her expression serious. "By any chance, are you the new transfer student?" she asks kindly. "Oh, yes, I am. Hello, my name is James," James responds, a bit embarrassed he didn't introduce himself properly. "It's nice to meet you, James. My name is Mrs. Corona. I'm one of the librarians here. Welcome to Indigo High. As for what I meant by strange, well," Mrs. Corona thinks to herself for a moment, as if trying to find the right words. "Well, Haruto doesn't usually spend his time in the library. He usually just checks out the books that he needs and leaves. And he definitely doesn't socialize with anyone, unless it's about schoolwork or his other extracurricular activities," she continues. James' eyes widen at the revelation, his mind flashing back to one of their conversations. "I just want to be left alone. I'm tired of the constant attention, the fake smiles, and the expectations," Haruto had said before. Now hearing it from a school faculty only solidifies Haruto's longing to escape from the role he had been forced to play. Seeing James's expression change, Mrs. Corona gave him a gentle smile. "James, I've known Haruto since grade school, and I must say, he hasn't looked as happy as when I see him with you," she speaks with a kind voice. Caught a bit off guard by the comment, James awkwardly smiles back, putting a hand behind his neck, a gesture he often does when feeling a bit shy or awkward. Oh, I see. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear I made a good impression," James speaks, a hint of awkwardness in his voice. Picking up on his awkwardness, Mrs. Corona waves her hand in dismissal. "Oh, come now, James. I'm merely stating my observation. When I first saw you two here at the library, I genuinely thought Haruto was just showing the new transfer student around. But as the days passed, you both still came here together. I can tell Haruto has taken a liking to you," she says with a knowing smile. James blushes a bit at the comment. Liking to me? Mrs. Corona, I have no idea what you're talking about," James spurts out, his voice higher than normal. Seeing James' flustered response, Mrs. Corona could not contain her laughter.
"My dear, liking as a friend, of course," she says with clear amusement in her voice. Oh, yeah, I suppose so," James responds awkwardly as he realized his assumption. "I wouldn't say we're friends exactly. He's just helping me catch up with schoolwork," James continues, his earlier awkwardness forgotten. "Perhaps, but you're the only one he's actually helped like that. So, friend or not, I can already tell you're special to him." James smiles, despite feeling awkward again. He puts his hand behind his neck, though the flush on his cheeks have subsided a bit. "Well, thank you for saying that. I'm glad I made a good impression somewhere," James says, still a bit awkward but more relaxed now. "You're welcome, dear James. If you ever need anything, just let me know. I'll be here at the library. Oh, and if you're still looking for Haruto, I recall hearing about an emergency student council meeting. It should be happening right now. As the student council president, Haruto is bound to be there," Mrs. Corona said in her usual kind voice. Hearing the news, James felt some relief. He had wondered why Haruto seemingly ghosted him without prior warning, but now it made sense. He realized just how much responsibility Haruto was carrying.
A pang of guilt crossed his mind. Not only was he taking up some of Haruto's precious time by meeting with him after class, but he was also keeping him from his responsibilities as student council president, not to mention all of the other clubs he must be in charge of. Mrs. Corona, may I know where they're having the emergency meeting? I'd like to at least say bye to Haruto before I go home, James asks, not sure if he was overstepping. Of course, dear. All student council meetings happen at the 4th room on the 3rd floor. You can't miss it. It's properly labeled, Mrs. Corona answered. Thank you so much, Mrs. Corona. I'll be heading there now. Have a good rest of the day. Mrs. Corona smiled and nods, waving to James as he heads out the library. What a nice young man. Though I can't help but wonder if I've seen him somewhere before, Mrs. Corona mutters to herself, before dismissing the thoughts and returning to her computer. In the hallway, James walks up the stairs to the 3rd floor, students passing him on his way up. The group of girls from his first day happened to pass by. They decided to approach him.
Hi, James. One of them starts, as the other two just giggle behind her. You want to hang out with us? She continues. Oh, you know who I am? James answers, his awkwardness returning. All 3 girls giggle as they speak one at a time. How can we not? A new transfer student in the middle of the school year. Not to mention a cute one. Dare I say someone who rivals our beloved school prince in terms of looks. And someone who's clearly gunning for the top, considering how much you've been hanging out with our school prince. Just don't forget us when you're up there, okay? We'll be your private cheerleaders. The girls continue to talk, giggling in between as they look at each other, then at James. James, taken aback by the compliments, couldn't help but take some offense to how he was being viewed. He just started in a new school, and there were already rumors about him.
Ladies, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I'm just trying to get through school. I'm not gunning for the top, as you say. James responds, his voice kind, but there's an underlying tension. Oh, you don't fool us, James. We see you hang out with Haruto after class. Yeah, our school prince doesn't tolerate anyone around here, so you clearly did something to get on his good side. Tell us your secret, won't you? We want in on the social circle too. Is it money? Influence? Are your parents and his parents friends or something? The girls continue, their tone getting less sweet by the second. James' smile slowly disappears, his face turning neutral, despite the discomfort he's starting to feel. Ladies, you can think what you want, but I'm not trying to climb the social ladder like you think. As for Haruto, I don't even know myself why he tolerates me. Now, if you excuse me, I have somewhere I need to be, James says, his voice still calm, but the warmth is no longer there. The girls don't respond and allow him to pass, but they exchanged glances at each other.
Yeah, right. He's clearly an attention seeker. Did you see how hard he tried during his first day? They whispered to each other, though it was loud enough for James to hear. James doesn't stop or look back, but his shoulders slump a little as he heads further up the stairs. Why were they targeting him all of a sudden? He thinks to himself. He pulls on the straps of his backpack, suddenly more conscious of his appearance. Not because he was insecure about his looks, but because suddenly he felt eyes on him. As he arrives on the 3rd floor, he pushes aside his thoughts and feelings, trying to put on a happier face as he approaches the meeting room. When he arrives at the door, it was closed, but he could clearly hear voices inside, mostly a female voice talking loudly over the rest. Then he hears it, Haruto's voice, clear and commanding. As he spoke, the rest of the room went silent. Hearing his voice brought some comfort to James, comfort that he didn't know he needed. He doesn't interrupt the meeting. Instead, he leans on the opposing wall, waiting for the meeting to end. He takes out his book, catching up on some reading for an upcoming test. The voices still filter from the room. He couldn't make out what was being said, but the 2 most dominant voices were the girl and Haruto.
After almost 30 minutes of waiting, James was contemplating on just leaving and meeting up with Haruto the following day, when suddenly the meeting door opens. James puts away his book, straightening up as he watches student after student leave the room.
Each member of the student council look at James briefly before moving down the hall. James observes the student council as they walk by. Each student, both boys and girls, were beautiful in their own way. Each one carried themselves with the confidence of being the top of the school. All of them clearly coming from families of wealth or influence, the elite of this school. And Haruto was at the very top. Suddenly, the words of the three girls from earlier ran through James' mind. "Oh, you don't fool us, James. We see you hang out with Haruto after class." "Yeah, right. He's clearly an attention seeker. Did you see how hard he tried during his first day?" Was he subconsciously befriending Haruto just to increase his status? Is he using Haruto for his own personal gain? No, that's not true. He was the transfer student, no one special, and he wanted to stay that way. As the last of the student council exited the room, James pushed aside his insecure thoughts for a while. He waited patiently for Haruto to exit, but after a few minutes, no more students came out. Instead, he heard the email voice again from inside the room, more clearer now that the door was open. Her voice was high-pitched, loud and strong, a voice of someone who clearly took control over any situation. Her tone had the condescension of someone who clearly thought she was better than everyone else. She was clearly talking to someone, not about school affairs, but about possible plans after school. Her tone was sweet, but still had that distinct sharpness to it, like honey laced with snake venom. Still wondering where Haruto was, James walked closer to the door. Inside, he sees Haruto on the teacher's desk, busy with paperwork. Seeing him, James' face suddenly lit up, a small smile forming on his face. James moves in closer, but before he could enter the room, a female student blocked his path. She stood blocking the door with her arms crossed. "Excuse me, the room is reserved for student council members only," she spoke as she studied James from head to toe. James steps back, taken by surprise. "Oh, sorry, I didn't know. Hello there, I'm..." James tries to introduce himself but gets cut off. Not a student council member, not a club leader, and clearly not important enough to be here. James was taken aback by her words. This girl in front of him already deemed him unimportant. James looked down, feeling embarrassed. "Sorry, I really didn't know. I'm new here," James explains, his voice softer than before. The girl scoffs at James' explanation. "I know who you are. You're James, the transfer student. I know everything that happens around this school." The girl steps forward, closing the distance between her and James. "Listen, transfer student, I don't know who you think you are or where you came from, but here, you're nobody. Just another student destined to fade into the background while people like me take the spotlight. So I don't know why you're here, but I suggest you get lost and never step foot on this floor again," she continues, her voice getting louder with every word.
James doesn't respond right away, but he doesn't back off either. He holds his ground, not flinching from her increasingly agitated voice. He looks at the girl straight in the eye, a gaze unbothered and unimpressed by what he sees. This was not the first time James had to deal with people like her. "You're right, I am nobody. Actually, I prefer to keep it that way, especially when the alternative is becoming something like you," James finally responds, a clear smirk on his face. The girl's face turns red with rage. She steps forward even more. "Ah, how dare you! Don't you know who you're speaking to? I should have you expelled right on the spot, you little..." she shouts, her polished mask slipping slightly to reveal something underneath, something more unhinged. But before she could finish, a hand clasped on her shoulder, followed by a familiar voice. "Enough, Rina," Haruto speaks, his voice clear and commanding, the same voice that effectively silenced the entire room earlier. Haruto appears from behind the girl, who James now knows is Rina. He removes his hand from her shoulder and steps in between the two.
Haruto,
This student is trespassing on the territory of the student council. Not only that, but he insulted me to my face, Rena explains, her voice back to its original sweet but condescending tone. Rena, there is no rule that states that this floor or this room is prohibited from other students. As for insults, I could clearly hear you call him a nobody. That's unbecoming of the school's vice president, Haruto responds, his voice absolutely leaving no room for argument. Sensing that she may have overreacted, Rena straightened her posture and cleared her throat. Forgive me, I may have allowed my stress to cloud my judgment, she says, not really looking at James but more at Haruto. It wasn't a real apology, more like an excuse to keep her image in check in front of Haruto. Haruto's face softens a little, but not completely. He nods to Rena, not really accepting the apology, but more to diffuse the situation. Then he turns toward James, his face completely relaxing at the sight of the transfer student. Hey, I'm sorry I couldn't meet you at the library. Something came up. It was urgent. Haruto speaks, his tone now lighter from before.
James smiles, seeing Haruto relax, the earlier tension completely melting away. That's all right. I know you're busy. I don't mean to take up your time. I was actually going to head out. I just stopped by to say bye, James replies. Haruto's eyes widen slightly, hearing James was about to leave. Wait, come with me. I wanted to show you something, Haruto says, already walking towards the stairs. James nods and quickly follows after him, completely oblivious to Rena, who was giving him a look of irritation. Haruto, you said you had plans. I was inviting you to exchange notes at that new cafe that just opened, Rena calls out, her voice sweet, but there was an edge to it. Haruto stops mid-step to look back at her. I do have plans, with James. See you around, Rena, Haruto says, dismissively, before turning back to the stairs. James looks back at Rena. He gives her an awkward smile. He didn't want any trouble from her, but Haruto had decided to choose James over her. He turns to follow Haruto up the stairs.
Rena stands there, her mouth slightly open, her hands moving to her hips. She doesn't say more. Instead, she grunts and starts moving down the stairs. Her face still a bit red with rage, and now something closer to resentment. In her mind, she was already planning her next moves. She would have Haruto as her boyfriend. They would be the school's power couple, an image she craves for herself. And now she had another obstacle in her way. James, who exactly are you? Why is Haruto suddenly interested in having you as a friend? And how can I remove you from the picture? Rena mutters to herself, a dark smile forming on her face. Completely oblivious to Rena's scheming, Haruto continues walking up the stairs. James follows closely behind. Where are we going? James asks, curious in his voice. To the school's roof garden, Haruto responds, looking back at James. Whoa, this place has a rooftop garden? I didn't know that. James responds, clear amusement in his voice. Haruto laughs, a genuine carefree laugh, something he hadn't done in a long time.
Not many students do. It's maintained by the school's agriculture club. Fortunately, I happen to be a member. James smiles, hearing Haruto's laughter. Student body president and a member of the agriculture club? Next, you're going to tell me that you're captain of the football team, James says in a teasing voice. Oh, very funny. Though you're not that wrong. The coach did try to recruit me once, Haruto responds, clearly amused with James's teasing. Is there anything you can't do, Mr. Prince? James says, as he lightly jabs an elbow towards Haruto's arms. Haruto responds by playfully shoving James, making him hit the wall. All the while, both their laughter fills the empty hallways as they make their way up the stairs. After 3 flights of stairs, Haruto finally opens the door to the rooftop garden. James steps through after him, taking in the view before him. The rooftop was like a mini jungle, surrounded by views of the nearby city. The ceiling was translucent, still letting sunlight through. On the right, a mini greenhouse stood, with several trays of seedlings inside.
On the left side, several rows of planters and with different kinds of leafy vegetables. In the center, a small shallow pond with trickling water.
Inside were guppies swimming around. On the other side of pond, near the edge, a small bench overlooking the cityscape. Everything surrounded by safety railings. "Whoa! I never knew this was here," James exclaims, his eyes taking in the lush greenery, a stark contrast to plain school walls in the lower floors. Hee, not many students come up here. The agriculture club isn't very popular, but they do good work in developing new farming techniques for urban gardens, Haruto explains, as he leans back against the stairwell doorframe. He studies James as the transfer student looks around the garden. "Is that why you joined? For the perks of having access to this garden?" James says in a mocking tone. "I'll have you know, I happen to like gardening. I've always liked being in nature, and I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty," Haruto responds in mock offense. He pushes off the wall and walks to where James was standing near the small pond. "Though, I have to admit, I haven't been participating much lately. I'm sure if I wasn't the student council president, the club president would have kicked me out by now. And I wouldn't have blamed him," Haruto continues, his tone more serious now.
As he reaches James by the pond, he runs his hand through his hair, his expression apologetic, which James sees through the reflection in the pond. "I'm sorry I missed out on our study session. Something urgent came up, and, well, duty calls," Haruto explains, his voice low and steady. James looks up from the pond to see Haruto. He sees the regret in his face and immediately feels regret of his own. "Haruto, no, you don't have to apologize. If anything, I should be the one apologizing to you," James responds, his tone matching that of Haruto. Haruto's eyebrows rise in confusion. "Apologize to me? For what? You didn't do anything wrong," Haruto asks, his voice curious with a hint of worry. "Well, firstly, for the scene I caused earlier with Rina, and secondly, for taking up your precious time. I've come to realize how much responsibility you actually have in this school. Student council president, member of the agriculture club, possible prospect of the football team, and who knows how many more clubs you're a part of. Not to mention your other responsibilities outside of school. And also," James explains, but Haruto cuts him off.
"Stop," Haruto says firmly. "You sound like the guidance counselor telling me all the things I need to do or should do," Haruto continues, his voice slightly annoyed now as he crosses his arms. "That incident with Rina was completely on her. She really doesn't know how to hold her tongue, and I'm actually impressed that you stood up to her like that," Haruto continues, a small smirk forming on his face. "But what is this really about, James? Did someone say something to you? About me?" Haruto finally asks, his tone more gentle now, but he keeps his arms crossed as he studies James' reaction. James looks away, focusing again on the small pond where the fish serve as a distraction from Haruto's probing eyes. "No, well, not exactly," James says, unable to find the right words. "It's just, why would you waste your time on a nobody like me when you have so much responsibilities already? And I don't want you to think that I'm just using you to increase my status in this school," James continues, still unable to look Haruto in the eyes. Haruto's jaw clenches hearing James's words.
"You don't want me to think that, or you heard it from someone else." Haruto speaks with barely contained rage. "Haruto, James starts, but gets interrupted by Haruto. "You still think I'm doing this out of charity? Like you're some kind of project I'm working on? Newsflash, James, I'm doing this because I want to, because I actually like you, because frankly, out of everyone in this school, you seem to get me the most." Haruto speaks, his voice getting louder with every sentence. He uncrosses his arms, hands balling into fists as he moves closer to James. "I know what the students are saying, that you're somehow using me to improve your status, that the transfer student is trying to move his way up the social circle through me. And now, hearing those same rumors coming from you, it sucks, James. It sucks. And here I thought you didn't care about what other people think. Here I thought you were different. Looks like you're just like every other—" "I'm sorry," James interrupts,
his hands grabbing Haruto's shoulder, not to push him away, but to keep him there. He looks at Haruto directly in the eyes, his face filled with regret, some moisture starting to form at the corners of his eyes.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. You're right. I shouldn't have let those rumors affect me. I shouldn't have thought of myself that way. And I should have known that you genuinely wanted to spend time with me. I'm sorry, Haruto. I'm sorry. James apologizes. He blinks multiple times to keep the tears from forming. Through it all, his eyes never leaves Haruto, and his hands tighten their grip on Haruto's shoulder, as if he would vanish if he let go. Seeing the sorrow on James' face, Haruto's demeanor lightens. His shoulders relax under James' grip, and his fists unclenched at his sides. He takes a step back. He runs a hand through his hair while looking down slightly. Jeez, I did it again. Damn it, I did it again. James, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have blown up at you like that. Haruto apologizes, his voice softer now, his rage melting away at the sight of James' face and teary eyes. His mind goes back the first time they met, how he was doing it again to James. It's okay. You were right to be angry. You've been nothing but helpful to me, and I let my insecurities get the better of me. James speaks, his voice still low. That's still no excuse for me to act the way I did. I hated those rumors. When I heard them come out of your mouth, I dumped all my frustration on you. And that wasn't fair, Haruto responds, still unable to look at James. Seeing the shift in Haruto's demeanor, James steps closer to him, his hands moving from his shoulders to his arms, a gentle reassurance of their budding friendship. Looks like we both had a bad day, huh? James says, his voice lighter now. You don't know the half of it, Haruto responds, a bit of humor returning to his voice. He gestures for James to sit at the bench overlooking the cityscape before moving there himself. James follows and takes a seat beside him. For a while, the two of them just sit there, the wind blowing through their hair, the sun starting to set, painting the sky in shades of blue, orange, and pink. The sound of the pond trickling in the background, along with the distant honks of cars in the distance. For this moment, both of them were simply content being in each other's presence. After a while, Haruto brings out his phone from his pocket and hands it to James. Here, add your number so that I can tell you if there's another emergency meeting or something. James looks at Haruto, then at his phone. He takes the device, quickly adding his contacts. Then he miscalls his number so that he has a record of Haruto's number. Haruto's eyes widened at James' quick action, a smirk forming on his face.
Whoa, that was some fast finger movement. Just so you know, I don't usually give out my number, Haruto teases, the earlier tension almost completely gone. Too bad. I just got it within 5 seconds, James responds, holding up his own phone, showing Haruto's number. Haruto breaks out into laughter at the simple exchange. James joins in soon after. The earlier hostility completely gone now. What remained was a warm acknowledgement of each other's flaws, but also acceptance. Smooth, real smooth, James, Haruto speaks, a hint of teasing in his tone. What can I say? I'm practically a marble statue. James responds with confidence. Okay, that one less smooth, Haruto retorts. There's clear amusement in his voice. Haruto pauses before speaking again, his mind trying to find the right words to say. So, where did you hear the rumors? The ones about you? Haruto finally says, his voice serious now, but lacks the earlier heat. James sighs before responding.
I ran into a group of girls on the way up to the meeting room. They asked me what my secret was, on how I got you to hang out with me. They said you never hang out with anyone, and I clearly had something or did something to get your attention. James takes a deep breath before continuing. They called me an attention seeker, someone gunning for the top, someone who wants to enter the elite social circle. As James finishes talking, Haruto quietly listens, his jaw clenching again, but he doesn't allow his rage to get the better of him again. He takes a deep breath to calm his nerves before speaking. Well, is it true? Haruto asks. What? James asks in return, confusion written all over his face. Is it true what they say? That you're just an attention seeker? That you're just using me to climb the social ladder? Haruto speaks, his voice surprisingly calm. What? No, Haruto, no, I already told you, James explains, but Haruto cuts him off mid-sentence. Then the rumors aren't true. Simple as that, Haruto says matter-of-factly, his jaw loosening to form a smirk. James stares at Haruto, the certainty in his voice and demeanor catching him off guard. He was so in his head about what he heard from the girls that he didn't even consider that none of them were true. And now, with Haruto's simple acceptance of his side of the story, James realized how much of a fool he had been.
You believe me? James says, a hint of uncertainty in his voice. Why wouldn't I believe you? You haven't given me any reason not to, so I do believe you, Haruto responds, his body relaxing completely, the smirk on his face turning into a soft smile as he looks at James directly. James smiles and then laughs again, a genuine laugh, melting away any insecurities he had left, almost as if laughing at himself for being so insecure. You're right, you're absolutely right, James finally says, his voice lighter now. Of course I'm right. I'm always right, Haruto responds, with clear amusement in his voice. Of course you are, Mr. Prince, James responds, in a sarcastic but friendly tone. He nudges Haruto again in his side, causing him to laugh along. Hey, I'm not the one who got so easily swayed by a bunch of girls, Haruto says in his defense, the earlier tension completely gone now.
No, but you were the one who bullied the new transfer student because of said girls.
James retorts. I did not bully you.
Well, maybe a little, but you had it coming.
I mean, look at you, standing up to the vice president, keeping the actual president all to yourself. You're practically a nuisance, Haruto argues. I am not, and if anything, you helped create this nuisance through your bullying, James argues back. The two of them continue to laugh and argue together, the wind blowing through their hair like nothing else mattered. For a moment, it was just them, just two boys, learning more about each other, learning to accept each other's flaws, and genuinely laugh and be in the moment. As the sun finally disappears behind the buildings, James finally stands up, stretching his arms. So, same time tomorrow? Haruto asks. I don't know. Will you actually have time for me this time? Or am I going to have to go on another manhunt just to find you? James retorts with a teasing tone. I'll text you if something comes up, but I'm pretty sure we can hang tomorrow.
Good. And I'll see you at the library then. Why not here? Haruto asks, gesturing to the bench and surrounding garden. Here? You mean the rooftop garden? Yeah, why not? It's quiet, the breeze is good, and we don't really need the books from the library anymore. All right, sounds good. I'll see you tomorrow then, James says, finally heading towards the stairwell. As James reaches the door, he pauses, then turns around. Hey, Haruto. Thanks for helping me out and for not believing the rumors. James speaks, his voice steady. Haruto looks back over his shoulder and smiles at James. Just keep being yourself, like you told me in your first day. You don't have to prove anything to me, he responds. James nods before finally descending down the stairwell. Haruto remains seated on the bench. He watches the setting sun shine its last rays through the distant buildings, a content smile on his face. He hadn't had a good laugh like that with anyone outside his family for a long time. And this time, it wasn't forced or fake. It was genuine, and all because of one transfer student. His mind replays the events of the afternoon, how he had almost lost his temper again, how James' hands on his shoulders had managed to calm him down, how James was vulnerable with him, but trusted him enough not to hide his emotions, and how easy it had been to just sit with James watching the sunset. Haruto finally stands to leave, stretching his arms before finally leaving the rooftop to go home. All the while,
his mind would think of James, the transfer student that somehow caught his attention. Little did he know, but James, already on the bus home, was also thinking about him, the school prince who gave James a chance.